Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm not.
All right, let's get started with Odell. So Odell Beckham Jr. did an interview with Mark Anthony Green in GQ. He's interviewed LeBron before as well. And GQ is a great publication, which I love.
Yeah,
it gives you all the fashion tips.
Yes.
And praises well-dressed men, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
Because I appreciate a well-dressed man.
What's the female equivalent of GQ?
Every other fashion magazine ever in existence.
Alrighty, thank you.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
Copy. In style.
We do this.
Yeah.
We allow you to have one or two that feature, mostly
George
men.
Clooney and Idris Elba.
That's why it's called
like
Gentleman's Quarterly.
Is that what it is? That's what it stands for? Mm-hmm. I don't know why I thought it was just like
cool letters together.
Yeah, just like GQ.
Sometimes stuff means stuff. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so Odell Beckham Jr. Is obviously the biggest superstar in the NFL.
Yes.
And you can say it's Tom Brady, but it's not. He's not the biggest superstar in the NFL. Odell Beckham Jr. is the biggest superstar in the NFL, which is a product of this new trend on planet Earth, which has to do with smartphones and the internet, which is arguably the second greatest invention since electricity. And he gets treated as a superstar. So he's talking all about it, and he's talking about his exit from the Giants, which I'm totally okay with. Mm-hmm. He's talking about the reactions from social media. He's talking about the reactions with the media. He's talking about going to the Browns and just kind of everything that goes on in his life as being that superstar and what he is met with. Now, in general, my biggest takeaway from it was, and if you read it, you really do kind of get a little window into what Odell thinks. Now, I don't ever really buy front face any interview like this because, of course, you're going to go into it with a strategy, right? You'd be crazy to just go in and talk to a media member that's following you around for a couple days and just say whatever comes to your mind.
There's agendas.
There's agendas with everything, sure. That said, I don't think he's being disingenuous. I just think he is more of a private guy than we think he is.
But you can't have the perception of a rock star and also choose to exude privateness when it's getting too hot in the kitchen.
Well, that's kind of the gist of the article and what I really want to talk about.
Okay.
So he talks about, he doesn't really feature his private life. He's asked about, accusations of him, being gay and why doesn't he ever, have a girl with him and how he feels about publications that talk about that, publications that talk about, him getting in trouble when he's really never been in trouble and he gets held to a different standard because of race and that plays into everything. But he talks specifically about his social media following. Now, I don't want to get into the actual media because we're all dorks and we don't matter.
It's kind of our jobs though. To be fair.
It is our job. It is my job to be a nerd.
Right.
Okay. And I fully accept that. But I also don't walk around like baseball writers and act like I am the keeper of the goodness of Earth. Okay.
Yes,
I am not judge, jury, and executioner of your sports legacy. Everyone has their own opinion, especially now. And I don't think of myself in that regard. And if you are in this business and you do, good for you. But
you got a job. You definitely got, at least one of you got a job. Because we know some people.
Okay, look, I'm just saying it's not on us to decide what Odell is. Odell is going to have his legacy at the end of his career. We can have our opinions about it now. He talks about being compared to Tom Brady, and I think that's a little bit ridiculous because when you're talking about stardom, sure, but Tom Brady is held to a different standard and is allowed different things like yelling at his coaches because he has 6 Super Bowls. And there's a couple contradictions in the article when it comes to that. Odell talks about Tom Brady and that 6 Super Bowl thing and how he's held to a different standard and he's criticized more. And then it's later in the article, he talks about how he always says he wants to win a Super Bowl at the beginning of the year. So it's you understand that winning is what we're all talking about here when it comes to that. But then you're talking about Tom Brady being held to a different standard when it comes to winning. The overall takeaway, though, and the bigger picture, and it kind of also got highlighted this week because Le'Veon Bell posted a video talking about social media critics, basically, and basically saying whatever your favorite person does, if they work at Target, they don't go home from their 9 to 5 and thinking about stocking shelves. True. Beyonce doesn't walk around singing all day. True.
We don't know.
We don't go home and then
we don't know that,
practice our podcast over again.
Right.
That's not what we do.
Definitely not.
You have a job and then you have a life, and we get that. Now, athletes don't get held to that standard. Everything that they post is supposed to have something to do with sport, or they don't care, and it's an unfair standard and it's nonsense. But what it got me thinking about is, in this day and age where you have social media and you have this window into stars and athletes' lives. And also compounded with the fact that we live in a polarized society where you got to be this or you got to be that. Now, you don't literally have to be those things, but it can get a little complicated if you don't pick a side.
Yeah, society's pretty binary at this point in time, which is the problem with it, because there are gray areas that we should address and live in, but it's just easier to come at things from elephant or donkey. Black or white.
That's one way to put it. That's another way to put it. But that's just the reality of the space that we live in right now. You have to pick a side. And if you don't choose to pick a side, then you can find yourself in the conundrum that, say, Odell and Le'Veon and sometimes Baker or Cam Newton or LeBron James or Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving may find themselves in, which is, let's just limit it to Odell for this particular argument. Odell is a superstar. He is an NBA player in the NFL, as Colin says. He is just an outlier. He is a rock star. He has more followers than any other NFL player by a mile, and that you may think that that's stupid and that doesn't matter. I assure you it's not stupid, and it does matter. It's incredibly influential to have a following like that away from the sport as well. He resonates worldwide. But if you are on that level, do you try to maintain some connection to the people? And that's kind of where I feel like everyone has to sort of make a choice in today's age. And it's unfortunate because we do live in a polarized society, but it's this weird space. So I kind of liken it to Beyoncé and Rihanna, right? So Beyoncé is the queen of all things on planet Earth, okay? But she is not one of us.
No.
Like,
not
Beyoncé is different than me. Beyoncé is, I don't even know if Beyoncé is a woman. I'm pretty sure she is a celestial, or what's the new thing Marvel's doing, an Eternal? Beyoncé is an Eternal, okay? She's not one of us.
Untouchable,
all right? She resembles us in some, we both have hands.
Yes.
But
she mimics our voices, our
different.
words and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
She's cut from a different cloth. She is a mega uber all-time Michael Jackson level superstar. There is no comparable. There will never be another in the history of planet Earth. Okay. That's Beyoncé. And if you look at her Instagram page, for example, it's like a magazine spread. It's not, kicking it in the house. It's not LeBron's Taco Tuesday.
Nope.
Okay. It is. It's there to remind you that she is different than you, and you may try to look like that, but she will in fact never look like Beyonce.
Queen Bee's Instagram handle is a fan page ran by Beyonce, for Beyonce, curated by Beyonce, for people who appreciate Beyonce.
Right, like Beyonce's Instagram page is curated.
Yes.
Which it should be, because it's Beyonce.
Yes.
Okay, she's not one of us.
No.
All right.
It should look different.
And she doesn't even. She does, and she doesn't even need captions. Whereas she doesn't even bother with them. Like, no need for them. No emojis.
They're an important part of the thing.
The only time I think she's even had a caption that I can remember was when her PR person felt like she needed to put a statement out about the Warrior's wife, because she was getting death threats for looking in Beyonce's direction.
That's what she is.
Okay,
she's an Eternal.
Right, she's an Eternal. Whereas Rihanna, who is on the same level of superstardom, maybe just like 1A to Beyonce, but superstar, feels like she's smoking a blunt in the pool, drinking a beer. Like, Beyonce doesn't drink beer.
Yes.
Beyonce drinks wine from cellars in France.
She probably drinks a Michelob Ultra every now and then.
She does not. She's never touched a beer. Beyonce has never drank beer.
She does. What?
Beyonce doesn't drink beer. Okay.
She's from Houston.
No.
Syrup then.
No. Okay, the point is, Rihanna feels like of the people, right?
Yes,
even though
so.
nobody looks like Rihanna either, there's a different brand there, right? And it's obvious. And I feel like because of the world that we live in with social media and the trolls and the way that people are just negative by nature on these platforms, you kind of have to choose your space. And it's unfair and it sucks, but it's reality. Like, I'm nobody. I deal with people on on social media, trolls and people talking shit all day long. There will never be a time on my social media where someone is not saying something negative to me.
Nope.
It is a 1,000% guarantee. But if it's not about abortion or like something that I truly care about, or someone's attacking my family, then I really don't care. Like, I don't care if you think I look pregnant. I don't care if you think I look like I need a hamburger. I don't care if you don't like my hair or my glasses or my snaggletooth. Like, I just don't care because I don't care. And it's not saying I don't care about you, because I do care about you watching a podcast and supporting and following. Thank you. But I also just don't care.
No.
And I mean that respectfully. I don't give one single care.
You listening, people?
I don't care.
Yes.
But I also make it a point to not read it. Like, I don't go through and let it marinate into my mind. I give it a quick scroll, you know. That's it, right? Because I make that conscious choice. Now, I'm on a very, 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 very low level. You can't even remotely compare that to what Odell gets every day. So when he talks about the feedback that he gets on social media or the vitriol or just critics, I feel like you have to make a choice. Are you going to Beyonce it or are you going to Rihanna it?
Right.
Like, if you're going to, and the problem is when you try and do both. Like, Kevin Durant got in trouble with this because he ended up making a burner account. It's like, you don't need to do that. Like, you can just stay in your lane as KD and clap back at haters on Twitter all day long if that's what you choose to do.
That's his brand.
But that's what you choose to do. You don't then also try and elevate yourself away from that.
Yeah. The biggest problem I had with the article, with just something he said, was that he put himself on LeBron James level of fame, and it's fair in this new world of social media and likes and clicks and commercials, but LeBron James has done a lot of winning and a lot of work to deserve the level of fame that he is at this point in time. And a lot of times in this article, OBJ sounds tone deaf to where he is currently in his career right now. Well, he has not won a chip. He caught a ball in the game that he lost.
Yeah,
like that's,
and he talks about that too, like people saying that they lost, and he did lose, and that's kind of there's a bit of a contradiction in the way that he speaks about his career and fame. I would agree with that,
right?
But there's no arguing that he is a superstar on the level that LeBron is. But this is what I'm saying, and I've been saying this for years, and people are still slowly trying to get around the curve with this idea. But kids are not fans of teams anymore.
True.
They're fans of players.
Yeah.
And that's why there's such a push for the NFL to get on board with the superstar love that the NBA gets, because you can watch a team from anywhere in the world now. You don't have to sit there and watch your local team like you used to do. There's ticket packages. There's the internet. Like, you can be anywhere in the country and be a fan of a team on the other side of the country just because you like a player, because you can see them. The accessibility has changed sports and sports fandom. And it sounds dramatic and catastrophic, but it's just the world. Like, everything changes, and this is the new wave. Like, you don't have to watch the Packers just because you live in Green Bay. You can be a Seattle fan because you can get the package and fall in love with Russell Wilson. Like, the whole landscape is different. So you have to break free from the idea that that's how fandom works anymore. And because of that, when you have a superstar like Odell, he's going to get even bigger, because no one cares about being a fan of the Giants. Why would you?
Saquon Barkley.
Look at the nonsense the Giants have produced since Odell's been there. Yeah. Remember Pat Shurmur, Ben McAdoo? Okay.
I remember Tom Coughlin.
Like this Tom Coughlin. Like this is what he's been dealing with. All right. Yeah. Do you remember these? Do you remember this? Like last year, Pat Shurmur, they're 5-11. Like,
he didn't help that team with his antics and the things around that.
No. This is not on Odell.
I know it's not, but I'm saying all these variables are important when it comes to football, and football is still king in the media, in the advertising market, because it's easier to root for a team than it is an individual player. That's why, as much as NBA does crazy numbers on social media all the time and the clicks and the names, it's the teams that matter, and everyone just lays dormant until NFL season starts. Because you're talking about stars, and that's the new money that's coming in. All these young kids, high school players, spending their parents' money, but their parents are still rooting for teams, and that's where the real money is still.
And just as a reminder, all those people will eventually die. That's the reality of life, right? Like, as time goes on, we all get just 1 second older. I'm older now than I was when this podcast started. All right, not to get theoretical, but we're talking about the future, right? True. Odell is ahead of his time. We're going to look back on Odell 10, 15 years from now, and the whole league is going to have an Odell on every team. Now, not to say that he's reproducible, because he's not. He is unique, and you can't make another Odell. But what I'm saying is there's going to be a superstar in the way that the NBA has a superstar on every single team, even if you are a bad team.
Right.
That's just the reality of it, because that's how kids watch. I don't care about what our parents do. I don't even care about what I do. I'm paying attention to what the 6-year-olds are doing. Okay, they're on their phony devices. They're not watching the TV thing. And if they're watching something that's on TV, they're still watching it on this. So everything has changed. And then in the break, they're going to Instagram to see, oh, I like that guy. Boom, follow. Oh, he's selling this. Boom, buy. That's how it works now. So that being said, it brings me back to what Odell was talking about, and like Le'Veon and KD and like the whole landscape of it. You kind of have to get into a space as an athlete. I don't want to get into like other stars because it's such a different world in every single space.
Right.
But particularly for athletes, it feels like you're being like it's constrictive and it's like anti what social media is, but it's changed, and you're going to get negative feedback. 99% of the feedback is going to be negative. That's just what it is. There's a couple people 100%. On there that be like, love what you're doing, man, salute, and that just
hold on to that too, because the rest of them is not going to be nice.
Lost in the noise. Okay,
right, yeah.
The point is, you kind of have to find your space and then own it. Don't try and be, in that Rihanna space, but then it bothers you when people say something negative about you, they are. And I've learned this so many times. I'll go back at someone, and 9 times out of 10, it'll end up being, oh, I'm just a huge fan. We love the show.
Finally got your attention.
Watch every day.
Right, yeah.
And then I feel stupid for wasting my time being angry at this person who is just mad.
Yeah.
And then
just bored.
On social media.
And they caught you because you was bored that day too.
Exactly,
You started looking.
I had time to be on social media.
Exactly.
Like it's fine because I'm happy being in that space. I don't allow it to affect my life in a negative way. But that's the critics. Like that's when everyone says, okay, like you're on social media too much, because your reaction to something that is clearly, like we have a bank of evidence now, like it's a vortex of insanity.
Right.
All of social media. So it's unfortunate, but I feel like athletes have to make a choice of what space they're in.
Well, if at this point in time, looking at OBJ, at this point in time in his career, new team, new opportunity, Baker Mayfield, who arguably is the Odell Beckham of Cleveland before he even got there, right? What do you think benefits Odell better, to choose the Rihanna route or choose the Beyoncé route?
I mean, if I'm Odell, and I have a lot of respect for Odell, because Odell deals with things nobody else in the world deals with, and specifically no one else in the NFL deals with. Because not only is he a superstar, and you can talk to me about Tom Brady and whatever else, that's cute, but Tom Brady is a white man. Okay, so Odell deals with different stuff. He does. He deals with different stuff on many different levels in many different dynamics.
Right.
So it's just different, and I respect that he handles all of this. And look, I'm speaking from a space where I'll never know. I'll never be in his shoes.
Right.
So who knows how I would approach it. But if I was him at this point in his career, with the potential that he has with the Browns, the attention that they're going to get this year, the renewed excitement about what he can actually accomplish, because people who like and support Odell, me being one of them, I'm excited to see him with not washed up Eli Manning. Regardless, I think that he is going to end up being an all-time great Hall of Famer, and all of this will end up just being a small part of the story. But to me, I'm going Beyonce route, because he is Beyonce. He's on the cover of GQ. He has
Met Gala.
If once you get invited to the Met Gala, you're not one of us anymore. Okay,
yes.
You're just not. If you've gone to the Met Gala invited, you are not one of us anymore. And you are in a different category.
But if you're gonna go as Rihanna, you go and post a picture said, wearing me to the Met Gala.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't even know how to compute.
Right. You can't compute it. But then also you feel like you could go to the Met Gala with Rihanna and you wouldn't feel out of place.
She would introduce you to people.
Right.
She's like, this is my friend, Joy. Hey, Joy. Hey, Joy.
I wouldn't know how to act.
Yeah.
Right, but if I'm with Beyonce, I would literally not know what to do. I would not know what to do. I would have to, what do I do?
What do you do when you...
Do I talk? Do I not talk? Where do I hold my hands?
Do you look? Are you allowed to look at it?
Do they have to be seen at all times?
Oh my
gosh.
God.
Do I make eye contact or look straight ahead?
I got a panic attack thinking about meeting Beyonce, period.
Yes, I was sweating.
Yes.
Okay, it's not the same thing. No. And it's not that Beyonce doesn't have real life problems and is a human like the rest of us. We're being sarcastic, but she's in a different level category of star, and she's also branded herself that way, which matters. Rihanna has the same issues, but Rihanna feels and has purposely made her brand a more reachable.
But
like
those
it
people,
feels that way.
In this analogy, those people have won their version of championships. Like, they've won. OBJ is just playing football.
Right, but he will eventually get to that space. I believe that. Certainly he believes that. I just think he has to, it's become clear he has to separate himself in that regard, because it's a lot to balance. And also when you're in that space with the people, sometimes you gotta tell somebody to come see you, and like that's just what it is. Like
and
sometimes
a lot of people ain't coming to Cleveland to see him.
Well, none of them are going anywhere because nobody is really about that life, and nobody wants to smoke. They just say it, and it sounds nice, but you don't even have your picture as your bio. So it's like Al 74825. Like you literally designed your account for non-smokage. Okay, so no. But that said, I'm really excited for Odell this year. I thought the article was very, very interesting and very well done, and I hope that he does end up being in a happy space because it sounded like the situation in New York was just completely toxic.
Yeah, and to start off his whole career like that, I mean, it's really only looking up from here on out, and sky's the limit with the Browns. Like, he's playing with Jarvis Landry, something we haven't seen him do since college. Like, the whole landscape is different, and OBJ's in a space where he can't lose the game anymore, I think. With the Giants, he could single-handedly lose the game because of the problems going around, the variables going around the football team.
Yeah, it's not all on him.
It's not all on him anymore. He can have a bad game and then still win a game.
Yeah.